Honestly, we were pretty excited when we saw Toy Story 5 got announced. I mean, the opportunity to see Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and all their friends come together to fight Lilypad, the new tablet that's been completely hogging all of Bonnie's attention, well, that sounds like a great movie to us. The previous installment of Toy Story was released 7 years ago, and honestly, we all thought it was the end of the franchise, but I guess Pixar wasn't done healing our inner children. However, Toy Story 5 isn't just for the adults who grew up with these movies, it also tackles some serious topics like the growing screen addiction in kids, and of course that whole toy versus tech debate. Having said that, let's not waste another moment and jump right into discussing what actually happens to our old friends in Toy Story 5. The latest installment of Toy Story makes the smart call right from the very beginning by making Jessie the protagonist. We think this was long overdue because she's been one of the most popular characters in the franchise for a while, but still has never really gotten the spotlight before this. Toy Story 5 is really a story about Bonnie and Jessie, which means Woody and Buzz are simply supporting characters this time around. As the film begins, we find out that Bonnie is now 8 years old but is clearly struggling to befriend the neighborhood kids, mostly because she's very shy and also the fact that she just plays differently. Even Jessie knows that. Now, Bonnie wanted to be friends with the Jordan twins, who were always glued to their tablets, so in order to help her ease into some social spaces, her parents end up buying her a Lilypad. It's a frog-themed, kid-friendly tablet with its own built-in social media network called The Pond, along with group text chats and multiplayer games. As Bonnie starts getting addicted to Lily, she ends up neglecting all her other toys, and since Jessie became the new sheriff after Woody left, she takes it upon herself to confront the device. Jessie tries to explain to Lily how her existence has completely changed Bonnie's social life. However, Lily misinterprets their conversation and ends up finding friends for Bonnie on social media. One of them was Chelsea, who was also in Bonnie's dance class. At this point, Jessie's feeling demotivated, and so she contacts Woody through a walkie-talkie, telling him everything that's happened. At the time, Woody's out helping Bo Peep find new homes for toys that have been forgotten or neglected by their owners, but after Jessie abruptly ends their conversation, Woody misunderstands the whole situation and decides to return to Bonnie. During this time, Buzz Lightyear is struggling to find the courage to confess his feelings for Jessie. Bonnie, meanwhile, is invited to a sleepover at Chelsea's house, and she takes Lily along with her. Without her knowledge, Jessie and Bullseye also secretly sneak into her backpack, but when Chelsea and her friends, Heidi and Kara, see them, they start bullying Bonnie for still playing with toys. Naturally, given that she's 8 years old, Bonnie was super embarrassed and asked her father to take both the toys back home, but Jessie and Bullseye were determined to not give up, so they escape on their own and eventually get lost in the process. Luckily, an elderly couple picks them up and returns them to Jessie's first owner after finding an address on her boot. As it turns out, the duo is returned to the farmhouse of Emily, the first kid that Jessie watched grow up. After arriving at the farmhouse, Jessie finds herself in a shed filled with forgotten toys where she meets a quirky potty training device named Smarty Pants. As they make their way into the house, Smarty Pants' battery begins to die, forcing Jessie to search for a replacement in a nearby drawer. While looking for a new battery, Jessie meets several other toy gadgets and learns that the farmhouse is no longer owned by Emily. It's now home to the Manukian family, where a young girl named Blaze lives with her parents. In the next scene, we see that Woody eventually makes it back to Bonnie's house, where he and Buzz immediately start butting heads over which of them Jessie considers to be her true deputy. But their rivalry is quickly put aside when the toys realize that Jessie never returned from the sleepover. Without any options at their disposal, the concerned toys go to Lily for answers, but she barely shows any interest in helping. Instead, she manipulates Bonnie's parents into putting all of the toys into storage, leaving only Woody and Buzz free. In response, Woody and Buzz decide to gain some leverage by unplugging Lily's charger and preventing Bonnie from playing an online game with her friends. Meanwhile, at the old farmhouse, we see Jessie reluctantly teaming up with the household's electronic toys in an effort to contact Bonnie's house through Lily. However, back at Bonnie's home, Woody and Buzz finally figure out that Lily has one major flaw, which is that whenever someone calls her name, she's compelled to be helpful. You know, like Siri or Alexa. So Buzz and Woody decide to use that weakness to their benefit and find a message from Blaze revealing where Jessie is. This information was more than enough for Woody and Buzz to start their mission to bring Jessie home. Through a fun series of events, we watch as Woody and Buzz help Bonnie and her mom find the message and convince them to drive to the farmhouse. The two toys secretly stow away for the trip. However, when the family arrives to collect Jessie and Bullseye, things don't exactly go as planned. After being wrongly influenced by her new group of friends who continue to mock toys in their chat group, Bonnie coldly rejects both Jessie and Bullseye, leaving them heartbroken. It's clear that the bullying had gotten to her and she simply didn't want to play with toys anymore. Now, after Bonnie leaves Blaze's house without taking Jessie and Bullseye with her, Jessie is devastated. According to her, she's once again been left behind by a child who she deeply cared about, and so Jessie decided that she was too old to keep reliving the same painful cycle of love and abandonment again and again. We see her sulk off to a nearby tree and sit on the old tire swing where Emily used to play with her many years ago. Before you know it, Jessie notices the words, "Jessie was here," carved into the tree, and of course, her curiosity leads her to start digging beneath that spot, only to uncover an old lunchbox filled with late 20th century keepsakes from their time together. As she looks through the mementos, Jessie finds something that completely changes her perspective. Seeing the photos of an older Emily along with her daughter, she realized that Emily never actually forgot her. In fact, she had gone on to name her own daughter Jessie, after her favorite childhood doll. That realization was deeply moving for her, and it really helped Jessie understand that her time with Emily truly mattered. Even though children grow up and move on, the love, comfort, and memories toys give them can stay with them for a lifetime. For the first time, Jessie found peace with the idea that growing up wasn't a betrayal, but simply a part of life. So, rather than focusing on the heartbreak of being left behind, she embraces the lasting impact she had on the children who loved her. This is about when my nostalgia-induced tears started kicking in. While all of this is happening, Woody and Buzz regroup to set out and help Jessie and Bullseye, but before they can reach them, they're stopped by a whole squad of advanced new Buzz Lightyear action figures. Earlier in the story, these Buzzes were shown stranded on a deserted island after a shipping container fell from a cargo ship and washed ashore. But they refused to give up on their mission and traveled across the ocean through unfamiliar territory in search of their Star Command. Because Jessie wore a star-shaped sheriff's badge, the Buzzes mistakenly believed that she was the Star Command officer they'd been looking for all along, so once they find out about Woody and Buzz's mission to find Jessie and Bullseye, the group eagerly offers their assistance to rescue their Star Command officer. At this point, Jessie was still determined to help Bonnie and Blaze become friends, so she decided to put aside all her disagreements with Lilypad and reached out to her. While the two often clashed over what was best for Bonnie, Jessie believed that they shared the same goal in the end. However, after witnessing Bonnie being mocked by the other kids on the pond, Lilypad lost faith in the whole situation. In fact, she became convinced that leaving was the best thing she could do, and so she jumped into a toy donation truck headed out of town. Of course, Jessie refused to let Lily go without a fight, so she rallied all her new device friends, along with the malfunctioning Buzz figures, Woody, and Buzz Lightyear himself, to track down Lily. Being the icon she is, Jessie rode on top of Blaze's collection of toy horses to chase after the truck along with all her friends, but the big shocker came when the new Buzz Lightyear toys ended up revealing a surprising ability along the way as they transformed into drones. They used this new feature to airlift the rest of the toys to safety and help keep the rescue mission on track. Soon, all the toys finally succeeded in tracking Lily down and convincing her to help Bonnie and Blaze become friends. After a series of clever messages and carefully orchestrated efforts, they all end up bringing Bonnie and Blaze together for a playdate. Now that they were free from the pressure of fitting in, we see how the two girls are finally able to embrace their imagination and enjoy themselves by discovering that they have more in common than they realized. Toy Story 5 ends with Bonnie and Blaze pretending to marry Jessie and Buzz, while Woody and Bo Peep return to helping abandoned toys. Not just that, but in the end, even the Jordan twins join Bonnie and Blaze in playing. Of course, being a modern blockbuster released in 2026, Toy Story 5 naturally included a post-credits scene, but instead of setting up the sequel, the film gave us a surprisingly heartfelt moment. After the first round of credits, the film shifts to a playground where a young boy is sitting alone. That's when one of the Buzz Lightyear drones descends from the sky and lands beside him. Moments later, the rest of the Buzz squadron also arrives, with each Buzz finding a child of their own. It was really a very simple but touching scene, It shows how the Buzzes have come to understand the true purpose of being a toy, which is to bring joy and companionship to children. It also pays off an earlier subplot because at one point in the film, one of the Buzz toys was discovered in the woods by two children during a camping trip. When the other Buzzes snuck into the kid's tent to rescue him, he signaled for them to leave him behind because by that point, he'd already found a new sense of purpose with the children and no longer wanted to leave. Anyways, the post-credits scene ended on a rather funny note with the arrival of a brand new high-tech Emperor Zurg toy. While staying true to one of the franchise's oldest running gags, Zurg dramatically announced that he was Buzz Lightyear's father, just as he did back in Toy Story 2. Whether this was simply a callback to the classic joke or a playful jab at Lightyear, which reworked that part of the mythology, is of course left to us to decide.
You killed my father!
No, Buzz. I am your father.
And that brings us to the very end of this video. God knows that watching Woody grow old really broke my heart, but the 2 hours that I sat in that theater watching these toys really did bring back some amazing old memories. Overall, it might not be the best Toy Story film in the series, but I don't think I can ever bring myself to hate this franchise as long as the OG cast keeps returning. It's a truly wholesome experience, but what about you guys? Let us know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below.